Hey guys, Tough Thumbs here in my shop with Sammy. Sam's last week here.
Again.
I'm very sad about that. I can hardly function.
Yeah, wait, I think wait is the right word.
So yeah guys, it's going to be a Tannic video. Got a few Tannics here.
In case you can't tell.
Yeah, I try to get them all here in the shot, including my two on the end there. But everything else here, for the most part, is Blade HQ. Up to here, to here, it's all Blade HQ. And then there's a couple here that I got. One for repairs, or actually two for repairs. We'll talk about that in a minute because it's kind of funny.
Yeah, Tannics are just not well built, that's all.
Yeah, they're terribly built.
The whole titanium thing is really weak.
Yeah. But I've been EDCing some for the last couple days, guys. I got this one from my good buddy Rick Barrett at Rick Barrett Knives. This is the Fallout Flipper. This is his, as far as I know, his first folder, and it's pretty ridiculous. It's 1095, some kind of 1095 with vanadium in it. As you can see, it's got a hamon. The guy's trained with, like, you know, sword making and everything, so it's really sharp. You got titanium pivot screw, full sandblasted titanium scales, really nice clip, really ridiculously. It's big. I mean, it really competes with the Koi, and it's got really good action. It's very quiet. It's on IKBS. You guys definitely check him out. His knives are pretty awesome. So yeah, I'll put a link down below, guys. I mean, he's pretty new to knife making, as far as folders go, as far as I know. But I think he's been in the game for quite some time with fixed blades and whatnot. So yeah, Fallout Flipper, guys, it's freaking awesome. Waiting for the Chernobyl Flipper to come out next, though.
Don't worry, we'll have a nuke flipper sooner or later.
The nuke flipper?
Yeah.
That's old. So, I'm going to get into it here. So first off, now...
Have you shown the sheep split yet in a video?
Yes, no. Yes?
No? It's
No.
been a long time.
It's been a long time, guys, I'm sorry. I've been very busy getting married to people and stuff.
Yeah.
This one became mine very quickly. After I finished it, I just fell in love with it. I couldn't part with it, and yeah. I mean, it doesn't, there's something wrong with it, so I can't, I don't want to give it the Blade HQ, so there, you know, I mean, there's a potential problem that might start happening.
So you're just going to keep it for the next 10 years to make sure that
yeah, if it doesn't happen in a couple of years, I'll send it to Blade HQ maybe. But yeah, so this is the sheep's foot. You guys probably saw that like a week or two ago. Everything's nice and slimmed down. Now the Tannics are a lot different than they used to be. I need some kind of a black something.
towel or something. Black towel.
I need to cover up the Tannics in order to show some stuff because it's not going to focus. Just get something besides that.
Something. We have a towel in here, don't we?
Yeah, but that's really dirty.
We have a blue one.
It's too dirty, dude. It's
we have
disgusting.
a Tannic book. We have pizza.
Pizza?
We use pizza.
So anyway.
What about that black foam right there?
Black phone. Oh yeah, that worked. So yeah, I'm basically going to show you what the difference is between the old ones and the new ones, and I'm gonna basically illustrate that with two Tannics. There you go, that works.
That's perfect.
So right here you got the original Tannic Zero, the first one I made, the first one I assembled. This is the one that started off for me, and I've had it ever since. Now, this is made from the exact same scales as the first 20. The first 30 or so are different than the new ones. The new ones have a smaller pocket for the counter bore, for the bearings, and there's a lot more room to work with, basically, because the stop pin is in farther, so it's tighter here, so I can bring it down here and bring all areas in and everything. But still, with the older ones, which this is, I can still make a lot of changes. As you can see right here, this is one of the originals. This is for Chad. What are you doing? Sam's taking Instagram pictures of me doing video. So you can see how much thinner it is right there. It's a lot thinner, a lot lighter, and there's a lot of changes. It's hard to really illustrate. Like, there's a whole bunch of material on there that I took off, basically.
You took off like 70%.
Yeah, it's a lot of material. I slimmed it down. I definitely thinned it up a bit, and it works great. So after I finish the Blade HQ ones, and you do have a Tannic that is simple like this, I am open to basically reworking it into one of the new ones, because this is how mine turned out eventually after everything was said and done. I prefer to do them like this now. You probably won't be seeing me do these anymore like this unless someone really wants it. There's no longer any of the real thick tie with the pattern on it. So this is the last one for Chad. And the reason it's here is because Chad is really good at breaking stuff really fast.
Within a day.
Now, I'm sorry, Chad. He's a great guy. Really awesome dude.
He's fantastic.
I really like him a lot. He helps me out a lot with the forums and everything. But this isn't against him. This is advice for anybody. If you're ever fixing a knife, ever, never touch the lock face. I'm not. This isn't a joke.
That's like the most important thing.
You do not. I mean, you can. I wouldn't touch.
It if you want.
You can carbonize it, yes, but do not touch the lock face. If there's something hanging off the side of it or something, you can just scooch it off or whatever with like a file or something, just really lightly. But never touch the actual flat surface on here.
Like reprofile.
Ever, 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 ever. And I'm not saying this to be mean to Chad. I'm saying this because I've seen this happen, and I used to do it a long time ago because I thought that that was the thing you need to modify. But realistically, if you're having sticky problems, most likely it's
lube.
Most likely it's A, lube on the lock face here, or the bottom of the blade. B, your knife maker just cut it slightly off. The angle might be slightly wrong. C, the weather. Humidity does affect a titanium folding knife, so it can cause stickiness off and on. Like, I'll have knives that will be perfect during the day, but at night they'll be sticky. Makes no sense to me. I've experienced it with my Taniks, and basically you do not want to ever touch, because once you do that, you basically destroy the knife.
You've ruined the machine part of it.
Chad did that. Luckily, he didn't do it enough to ruin anything. So what I had told Chad was to basically, when it was very early, right? So if you have a knife that's very early and you start to get blade play, that is, you shouldn't do it too early. I did before, and they worked out. Some of them didn't, but I can fix them very quickly. But if you want to add tension to a lock bar, guys, right? So this is your lock bar. So say it needs to be bent in just a hair more. Like, you really don't need to put a lot of pressure on it to create more tension. And this is how I try to explain to people on the phone. Like, I was trying to explain to Chad, but I couldn't. I don't think he understood what I was saying. I was saying, like, to pump the bar here. Mm-hmm. Like, you basically just rock it like this, and just, like, pressure, just a little bit of pressure. So it's not, like, just pushing it and, like, just pushing it in way too far, because then your lock will just stick like crazy.
A little bit at a time.
Yeah, it's just way too much. So like this, just add pressure when you get to when you're at the farthest point over, just a little bit. Because you can push it in, and if you push it in slightly too far, you can always, when the blade is in this position, pull the blade out or handle or the lock bar out like this, and just give it a pump this way, like kind of just like rock it back and forth,
making it perfect.
And it can slightly just take the tiniest bit of tension, because that's what you're working with, is tiny bits of tension. I mean, you never need to pull it out all the way or anything like that. It's just never going to happen. So just some advice, guys, because I've seen it a lot with a lot of custom knives and my own knives. So just a word of advice: if you're taking them apart, and if you're not confident in taking your knife apart, don't do it. Never take a Dremel to anything if you don't know what you're doing. I swear to God, I've seen things. I've seen things, Sam.
We have just fixed reground blades.
Oh, God.
Reground by a Dremel.
Yeah, and most of the time the people that do it are pretty embarrassed about it, and they laugh about it. I mean, I saw a guy try to regrind a Hinderer with a Dremel. Good dude, really good dude. You just get a little bit too ambitious sometimes, and you're just like, screw it, I'll try it out. So, yeah. That's basically it. And also with my Taniks, I think I might have said in the past, the only thing I've ever seen that goes wrong with them, besides any normal problems with a knife, I mean, every knife maker I've seen, there's always an issue with something. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I haven't seen every knife maker's knife, but I've heard things, and I know exactly what they are. After doing these, I know exactly what the problems are. And there's things you miss, like smacking against the backspacer when it's closed, but sometimes you get, some screeching sounds like with this. And you just put a little bit of lube on the detent ball, and you'll never have to do it again.
Bunch of little tricks you learn over time.
Yeah. And also, bending the lock bar in can create better detent as well. And also, I got one of the knives back here. And again, I'm not making fun of any customers I have, but I just want to point this out. So I got this guy back. You guys saw this a while ago. All sorts of problems with it. It came back to me in pieces, and the guy said that he got it from somebody We won't talk about who that is, hands. So somebody had taken it apart and put a washer underneath the bearing, which I don't do. So
it's against the rules.
It's not necessary. So that created like a really crazy off-center blade and did all sorts of crazy stuff to the knife. So I get it, and he's like, oh, the detent's got some play in it. So there's no detent ball whatsoever. The detent ball is completely gone. So I'd imagine, yes, that would create some kind of play there.
Just a little bit, just a skosh.
But guys, if you're going to take it apart and you have one of my knives, please feel free to call me if you're going to do it. And you need some instructions. I mean, I'm more than happy to walk you through it.
I might yell at you a little bit, but
yeah.
it's nothing to take personal.
Most fixes for my knife, luckily, have gotten down to simple things. Like sometimes it's just, for some reason, just throw a washer underneath the pivot screw. Not under the bearings, but on the outside.
On the outside.
Like a real thin, I don't know why, sometimes that fixes things. It creates less pull on the pivot, which would, can angle things. So I don't know, just give me a call, guys, and this one is finished. I'm going to basically touch it up and everything. It's got a really nice detent to it now. I believe the centering is pretty much perfect. And yes, guys, I'm not the greatest knife maker in the world, so my grinds, the swedges, can be slightly off, which makes it look off-center. Now, as long as it's not rubbing, it's probably just my grind. I mean, sometimes I get it perfect, and sometimes it's just slightly off. And some guys will take something that is like so minuscule and like stupid and like just blow it way out of proportion. Like my toad over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, not making fun of the guy that gave it to me. I mean, he said the blade was off center, and I told him it's a chisel grind, so it is off center. I mean, that's funny, but some guys don't know what that is. And then other than that, there's nothing wrong with it. It's probably the best toad I ever did.
It's actually it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, so I'm just going to touch it up and send it back to him. I mean, I don't know.
Re-sandblast and stuff.
So yeah, this is a video basically just kind of addressing some stuff. I'm probably going to upload this and then the Tannic video. It's a 12-minute video here.
12 minutes already?
12 minutes already.
Well, then why don't we show off this?
Yeah, okay. We'll keep going here. So, this is not my knife. It's a Neil Blackwood and Jim Burke collaboration.
It's
titanium pins in there. It's the Fugitive. Woo.
Yeah.
This is John Gray's knife. Really nice. Just a beautiful knife by two like really skilled makers that have been around for quite some time. I definitely have a lot of respect for these guys. Titanium or Timascus pins are real cool. I'm gonna have some sexy new knives coming in a couple days. And also, guys, the Timascus Tannic I did, gone. USPS lost it.
We had a funeral service and everything.
It's been a month since anybody's seen anything except for an empty box. So really sucks, guys. And I'm about to have that happen to me again too. I sent a package over to my buddy overseas. Apparently, it will guaranteed to be lost. He says he's never got anything priority before. It's always gets stolen. So, another Tannic down the drain.
Good times.
Yeah. Hopefully, guys, just say a prayer for my little baby Tannic. You know. I don't know. Well.
You want to show the John Gray one in this video too?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, John had his car broke down right inside my house here. He lives pretty close to me.
So it's gonna stay there for 10 years.
So, I opened the door, there's one of his knives, and of course I'm going to grab it and play with it. This one's pretty sweet, guys. I mean, if you guys don't know who John Gray is, I mean, he used to be anonymous on my channel all the time. Just some weirdo in the background, but now he's John Gray Knives. Really skilled. He's the guy that taught me how to make knives. Like, taught me how to grind, and taught me everything, pretty much. Except for scale work. He needs some work on that, obviously. No, I'm kidding. Now, what is this pattern called? Brain pattern?
Brain pattern, maybe? River pattern?
He's a very creative guy for someone his age. I mean...
Yeah, he's 73, 74.
He just doesn't... He's a very creative guy, and it's not something that, like, people acknowledge, I don't think. Like, he's very outside the box. And
yeah,
he thinks...
Definitely.
He has a very fresh point of view on things, surprisingly, for someone like him. I mean...
because he forgets things that happened last week, so it's a new experience for him every day.
Exactly. That's like what I do, too. So... Yeah, guys, and his chisel grinds are insanely sharp. So anybody who has a problem with that, yeah, they don't know what they're talking about. So anyway, guys, it's just a quick video, and then I'm going to do 2 more.
Make up for past time.
Yeah, make up for, yeah.